there is a musical audio, and this musical audio is coming up. And as part of the musical audio coming up, there is it has gotten degraded over pieces. I mean, if all of you remember, there are these old cassette tapes. I mean, this generation doesn't even know what cassette tapes are, but there used to be old cassette tapes. And as you keep listening to them, because it was a physical interface, it got degraded over time. And most of the old songs and old music is actually captured in these cassette tapes. So even if you just convert them to digital form, they come with a lot of noise and they come with a lot of gaps in the music, right? So there's degraded music. How can you upconvert them successfully? Right? This is the problem we are trying to solve. Now, obviously, there is noise filtering algorithms that are available online, and even in your Mac computer, iMovie can do noise filtering and stuff like that. So there's a lot of, but noise filtering is agnostic to the type of music that you're trying to conquer. So what we can do is the first one. This is like one of my students did this a few years ago. Is they basically took the actual audio signal and converted the audio signal into a computer vision waveform, right? A digital waveform, which looks like, these kind of like ups and down charts, like, how you look when an audio is rendered. Now, this waveform can then be interpreted as a video signal, right? It can basically say, this is what the waveform looks like over time. And now a computer vision algorithm can actually fill in how the waveform dots connect, because it is actually operating in the CV domain and it is not necessarily operating in the audio domain. So even if it doesn't know what music is, even if it has no clue regarding a guitar or a piano, it knows that a curve cannot be discontinuous. So it's basically going to create the continuity of the curve and stitch those gaps between each one of those individual signal streams. And then you can recoalesce those signal streams to get back the original audio. This way, they were able to prove that by converting the domain modality from like audio to video, they were able to achieve a very, very good precision in converting old audios. That is an amazing concept, right? So let's go on to the next slide. The next is physics-aware harmonic modeling, right? So here's the same problem, but instead of converting the domain into computer vision and solving it, this student basically said, I know that certain musical instruments can only operate within certain ranges. So the domain of how a signal can change over time is limited. We don't need a machine learning model to learn every single possible combination and then work across it to figure out what the next signal pattern is going to be. I know there are only 3 or 4 signal patterns that can be based on the harmonics of like the physics of the sound of that specific instrument. Because I know those harmonics, I can actually change the problem to one of, here are 4, pick from these 4,